Age 737. After receiving psychic abilities from the Kanassans as retribution for their slaughter, the Saiyan Bardock is forced to foresee the genocide of his people at the hands of the tyrannous Frieza. After his attempts to warn the other Saiyans fall on deaf ears, Bardock prepares to take on Frieza alone, knowing he won't survive. He stops only for a moment to see his newborn son Kakarot for the first and last time. Kakarot, who Bardock knew would one day avenge the Saiyan race, cries out as his father leaves. His cries are heard all too well by Broly, an infant Saiyan born with a legendary power, traumatizing him for life.
Shortly before the destruction of planet Vegeta, the Saiyan Paragus sired a son named Broly, who was born with an unbelievable power level of 10,000. Paragus approached King Vegeta with news of his son's incredible strength, believing Broly could be a tremendous asset to the Saiyans. Much to the dismay of Paragus, King Vegeta immediately ordered the execution of the child, as his power would be far too great to control. Coincidentally, at the same time, Frieza began to think the same about the entire Saiyan race. As planet Vegeta erupted from the force of Frieza's power, Broly and Paragus, who had been left for dead, managed to escape the explosion thanks to Broly's hidden strength. 30 years later, Paragus tracks down Vegeta on Earth, proclaiming him the new king of the Saiyan race. Paragus has rebuilt planet Vegeta and requests his new ruler come home. Vegeta agrees and leaves for his new planet. Meanwhile, King Kai informs Goku of the sudden disappearance of the South Galaxy and sends him to investigate. Vegeta and Paragus arrive on the new Saiyan homeworld with Trunks, Gohan, and Krillin in tow, and are introduced to Paragus' son Broly. As Vegeta settles in, Trunks and the others become skeptical and decide to investigate the planet. They quickly learn that nothing is what it seems on this world. Everything has been fabricated by Paragus to lure Vegeta into a trap. His new world is on a direct collision course with a giant comet. As Trunks attempts to warn Vegeta of Paragus' plan, Goku arrives with instant transmission, having tracked down the source of the energy that wiped out the South Galaxy. Goku's presence ignites a dormant rage within Broly, and soon our heroes have much bigger things to deal with than a comet. Broly's true power erupts as he transforms into what Vegeta thought he and the others had already achieved, the legendary Super Saiyan. Broly is nothing short of iconic when it comes to Dragon Ball films, featuring incredible animation, brilliant battle sequences, and a longer runtime than any Z movie before it. And whether you love or hate Broly, you definitely know him. Aside from hilariously questionable character motivation, Broly has a lot going for it. Unfortunately, its most probable placement in the timeline is absolutely absurd. Evidence heavily supports this movie taking place between Goku and Gohan training in the Hyperbolic Time Chamber and the Cell games. Gohan has achieved Super Saiyan, but not Super Saiyan 2. Trunks has long hair, which means it would have to be after his second year in the chamber, since his hair was cut short while Goku and Gohan were still inside. Krillin seems perfectly content with the girl he's in love with, having been absorbed only days ago by a big green bug monster who's still alive and about to hold a tournament, which no one in this densely populated city seems to care about. Oh yeah, and Goku's alive. Spoiler alert. Most movies before this one rehashed ideas from the main storyline, and while this may seem new and original, Broly is no different. While Broly is nothing like any villain in the main story at the time, he largely exists because a normal Super Saiyan just isn't a big deal at this point. While we weren't quite at bargain sale levels yet, all of our main heroes with Saiyan blood had reached this level, and the last movie already had elements from the androids and Cell. It's almost like an evil Super Saiyan was a natural next step. With this movie's apparent placement in the timeline, it's really not that it can't happen, it's just insane to think that it would. I can understand most of the Z Fighters being okay with enjoying a nice picnic and taking a day off from training to relax and enjoy each other's company for what might be the last time. Even Goku was ready to take a whole 3 days off of training for the Cell games to relax and make Goten. But Vegeta? He would have spent his entire time training in the chamber had it already been retconned into being okay, and he had a major score to settle with Cell. I highly doubt his Saiyan pride would allow him to abandon that even for his own planet, let alone sit down for a picnic. Plus, if he was the king, he could have just told Paragus the deal and had him circle back and get him in a few days. At the end of the day, Broly is an incredibly popular character fans can't get enough of. He sparks numerous who would win debates and is constantly the first and sometimes only movie character to make it into video games. It's hard to say this movie can't happen without just splitting hairs. All in all, it fits better into the timeline than most movies, but not as good as BoJack. Hang on a second. Gohan and Piccolo are wearing blue belts in the Cell games, but red ones in Broly. Nailed it. And that's why Broly, the legendary Super Saiyan, can't happen.